My name is Yarmel, and on behalf of myself and my co-author Maughn Gregory, I would like to thank the Journal of Philosophy of Education for this opportunity to create a video abstract to accompany our publication, Noise Reduction in the Community of Philosophical Inquiry. Now, I'll start by saying that Maughn and I are both coming to this project from the perspective of theorists and practitioners in the philosophy for children tradition, as it was initiated by Matthew Lipman and Margaret Sharp in the 1970s. Within this tradition, the term Community of Philosophical Inquiry, or CPI, refers to a dialogue protocol in which people with diverse experiences, beliefs, and values discuss a philosophical question of common interest and are prompted by a facilitator to challenge and build on one another's ideas, to share relevant experiences, to consider emotional responses, to imagine new possibilities, and to self-correct their understanding, including their value commitments. Now, the participants have two aims. The first of which is to form reasonable, meaningful judgments about the matter at hand, and the second of which is to grow in their powers of inquiry, both individually and as a community. Now, in our article, we go into great depth about the structure of this protocol and the theory behind it. We trace its lineage from Charles Sanders Peirce through Buckler to Lipman and Sharp, but it's important to emphasize two of its features here. So first, a CPI is not a therapeutic sharing session because participants seek to form better judgments and improve their skills of inquiry rather than merely self-expression or cathartic release. And second, since philosophical questions typically involve reasonable disagreement, CPI facilitators should neither expect nor intend for all participants in a CPI to reach a consensus about the answer to the question. It's therefore important for facilitators to work to improve the quality of participants' reasoning while remembering that they cannot merely check their answers against an answer key or assess whether a consensus was reached as a proxy for quality. Now, one way to improve the quality of reasoning in a CPI is to reduce bias, which refers to systematic errors in judgment in the same direction. But since bias has been well studied in the literature, we focus on another approach that has so far been neglected, which is identifying and reducing noise, which Kahneman, Sibony, and Sunstein in this book define as unwanted variability in judgments that should be identical. Now, not all judgments should be identical, of course. And to reiterate, it is desirable for a CPI to include diverse participants who may end up disagreeing about the answers to philosophical questions. But it is a problem for the epistemic aims of the CPI when epistemically irrelevant factors like the weather, the order of speakers, or the logistics of a voting procedure influence what judgments participants reach. The purpose of noise reduction is not to crush individuality through the imposition of an artificial consensus, but to empower participants to form judgments on the basis of reasons rather than extraneous, epistemically irrelevant factors. So we argue that noise reduction is a valuable goal that can and should be pursued without sacrificing any of the CPI's essential features. And we actually offer some practical guidance towards this end in the form of a decision hygiene protocol and bias reduction checklist, both of which are heavily inspired again by this book. So we hope you enjoy the article, and we look forward to engaging with those who choose to take the next steps in this inquiry.